Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for joining tonight's session on the preparation for the examination on MIAD 801, where we'll be treating past questions on the Module 3 part of our course. The Module 3 part of our course is on sample and instrument of data collection in research. So we'll be looking at samples and data collection of in data collection method of techniques of data collection in research. So I'll share my screen with you and we will look at questions that are under samples and instrument of data collection in research. So that's what we will take, because these two topic I mentioned are mainly on the module 3. So they are on module 3. We've done module 1, we've done module 2, and the module 3 is just what I just want to touch this night. And please, if you are joining, you don't have any contribution, kindly mute yourself. If you have a contribution, you can mute yourself. We are here to learn. So can you see my screen now? I just share my screen to you.
I cannot see.
Okay, just bear with me. If you cannot see that, me other cannot see too. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
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 What about me? Can you see me?
No, we can't see you, but I can see your screen.
Okay. No. We've done past question and answer on module 1 and module 2. You can see on my YouTube channel. And tonight we are going to touch on module 3, which is focusing on two main topics, which is sample and data, instrument of data for data collection in research. So when you look at this question number 1, the past question, which of these past question talks about sample or instrument for data collection in research? So when we talk about sample, we talk about probability, we talk about sample, we talk about data collection. So any question you see that talks about sample or probability or instrument for data collection or tools for data collection, let me know. Which of this question talks about this?
None.
None. Okay, let's proceed to this. Which question talks about this?
Question number 5. What is research sample?
Okay.
And then the B aspect, explain the guidelines for constructing a research tool.
The guideline for constructing a research tool. Okay. Now, let's take it one after the other. So, what is research sample? Just write it down. What is research sample? What is research samples? And the other question they ask is explain the guideline for constructing a research tool. Understand? What is research sample, and explain the guideline for constructing a research tool.
Akanji,
Yes.
you told me to hold on and you started already.
I'm sorry. Sorry. So the question is, what is research sample, and explain the guideline for constructing a research tool. Understand? Now, research sample, you see, it's like women. If women want to do a B or Owambe party, they want to do party, they take a sample of a cloth they want to the market, and when they get to the market, they look for what they want to buy according to the sample they have. The same thing is applicable to research. So the sampling means sampling in research, it means the process of selecting a subset of individual. Somebody say, can I see the question? If you want to see the question, you will not see me. I'll remove my face. I'll just be sharing. You see the question. So you will not see my face. So since you want to see the question, let me go. This is a question. Just bear with me. Can you see the screen? No. Past question. Okay. No. Past questions.
Don't worry, you can continue, sir.
The person that is asking me to share the question, that's the person I just want to satisfy the person. I'm not seeing this thing, no. Let me go to my WhatsApp. Okay, can you see it on my WhatsApp? Yeah. Can you see it?
Okay, Mr.
Not
Akanji, it's
yet.
fine. I just wanted to see the first question you wanted to answer.
There is question number 5 in this question. The question number 5 says, what is research sample, and explain the guideline for constructing a research tools. You understand? So I was explaining the research sample. This is the process of selecting a subset of individual. Process of selecting a subset of individual cases or observation from a larger group. So the process you use to select a subset means like a part, selecting a part of individual or cases or observation from a larger group. And that larger group in research is called population. Understand? In order to study, analyze, and draw conclusion about that entire population. Understand? I mean, I'm not. So now, women, when they want to do party, if they want to select,
Please, can you come again from this in
I'm
order
coming,
to?
please.
I didn't get that.
I'm coming, please. I'm coming. So if you want to buy clothes for party, you need to find a sample. But that sample you are finding it from a larger group. So your purpose, your objective, while selecting that sample from the market, is to study which one you want to choose. You understand that? For you to come to a conclusion. The same thing is applicable to research. The process of selecting a subset, understand? A subset of individual cases or observation from a larger group. You go to the market, you choose a sample from out of all the things you see in the market, out of all the attire you see in the market, you take a sample. You understand? So you are not taking every cloth you are seeing in the market. You are just taking a sample. But that sample, that subset, that part you are taking in research into bracket is called population. Understand? So in order to study, analyze, and draw conclusion about that entire population. So when you go to the market to take a sample of Ashwabi, understand, or attire, is to draw a conclusion on what you people will choose at the end. The same thing as applicable to research. So when research is done, there's what we call population in research. You understand? Population are your case study. You want to study effect of banditry and kidnapping in Bauchi, for instance. Now, Bauchi, over thousands of people are living in Bauchi, but you cannot interrogate or interview all the people living in Bauchi, right? So what you do, you look for sample, you choose some people from the population in order for you to analyze, study, or draw a conclusion regarding your research. You understand? So because it is impracticable, impossible, it is impossible for you to analyze all the people living in Bauchi. Understand? So, and if you want to do it, it might be costly, it can be impossible or impracticable. But instead of you to study all the people living in Bauchi, you do sampling. As a researcher, you do sampling to obtain reliable and valid result. Understand? That valid result and reliable result should be able to be manageable. Understand? So you can remember in your undergraduate, when you were doing your research, you do effect of something you now mention a local government or a state. Understand now? So when you say effect of kidnapping in Borno, you are not studying the whole Borno state. Although the research is based on the whole bundle state, but at the end, you will take a sample. The sample is going to bring out a conclusion that is going to cover the whole bundle. You understand now? As I said, in that sample you are taking, that subset, SUBSET, subset part. Understand? That part you are taking from an individual, from individuals, from cases on observation is called population. Now, what is the difference between population and sample when it comes to research? Understand what is the difference between population and sample? We are trying to answer that question number one. We say, explain to us what is sample. But when you are explaining the definition of sampling, you mentioned that we are taking a subset from individuals, cases, and observation of larger group. That larger group is the population. So you need to tell us what is the meaning of the population. So population versus sampling. What is population? What is sampling? So in research, population is the entire group of people or item a researcher is interested in. So population is the entire group of people or item a researcher is interested in. You are interested to study how do you call effect of e-commerce or effect of e-banking in Zenith Bank or in Union Bank. We have many Union Bank in Nigeria. We have many banks in Nigeria, rather. Effect of e-banking in Nigeria, a case study of Union Bank. We have many banks in Nigeria. But instead of you to study all the banks in Nigeria, you take a sample, Union Bank. But all the bank in research, all the banks are population because they are what the researcher, they are the population, they are the larger group the researcher is interested in. Understand now? Why the sample is the smaller group selected from the population. Population is a larger group the researcher is interested in, why the sample is the smaller group, understand, selected from the population. Let me bring a practical example to you now. So, assuming that you want to study the effect of distance learning on Ahmadu Bello University students, understand? But when you do effect of distance learning on Ahmadu Bello University students, it's students of Ahmadu Bello. We have 100 level, 200 level, 300 level, 400 level, 500 level, and we also have masters students. Do you get? That means we are more. We are larger population. On Ahmadu Bello University distance learning student, that is larger population. But instead of studying the larger population, you focus on sample. So if you want to rewrite your research question or topic, you will not say the effect of distance learning on 200 level students of Ahmadu Bello University student. That means you are studying only 200 level students. You are not studying from 100 level to 500 level and masters. You are only studying 200 level students. You understand? Am I communicating?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
What of if the 200 level students are still students of a particular course, like students of mass communication, or is it another kind of sampling too?
It's sampling is another type of sampling. So, but thank you very much for the question. We are learning. Thank you very much for the question. Let us go to the categories of sampling before we look at that question 5B that they say that we should say the first step of the categories of sampling.
Mama, I don't want to.
Now let's go to that type of sampling that you mentioned. Let's go to the type or categories of sampling. Types of categories of sampling. Types of or categories of sampling.
Is it types of or categories of sampling?
Types or categories or categories. Types or categories of sampling. Types or category of sampling. You should know that sampling is, we have two categories. Let's go like this. We have two categories of samplings. We have the probability sampling and the non-probability sampling. Understand? We have the probability sampling and the non-probability sampling. So probability sampling has its own type. Non-probability sampling has its own type. You understand? Now, let's take probability sampling now. Probability sampling, even without knowing the definition in the examination, you say, when you say maybe it is the probability that something might happen or might not happen. Understand now? So in research, probability sampling, this is the method in which every numbers of population has a known or equal chance of being selected. Probability sampling. This is a type of sampling which, or is a method in which every member of that population, understand, has a known or equal chance of being selected. This type of sampling, it is used in quantitative research. Now, let me explain this for you. We say probability. That is, probability sampling is a method of sampling by members of a population. You know, I will always explain what is population here. You understand now? So members of a population, you understand, they have equal right of being selected. Remember when you were in secondary school or in primary school, when the teacher finished writing something in the board and you want to ask a question, you will look at people in the classroom and say, you come here. That means that all the students in the classroom have equal chances of being selected. You understand? That means there is probability that they call me, or they call my friend, or they call another person. Somebody say, can you please define probability sampling again? I said probability sampling is the type of sampling, or is a method of sampling in which all the numbers in the population, or every numbers in the population has equal, understand, or known chances of being selected. So you can say it's a type of sampling where people as members in the population have equal chances of being selected. I'll give you the example when you were in school now. You know, sometimes you are in class, the teacher will say, who will come and answer this question, especially in mathematics. Say, who will come and answer this question? Everybody will just be, make it, should not come me, should not come me. But at that moment, there are probability that the teacher will call you or not. So everybody in the classroom have a chances of being called by the teacher. That is probability sampling. You understand? It's like you as a woman now, you want to do party and you are being sent to go to the market to go and choose a soybean or to go and choose your attire you want to use. You enter a shop. They are selling clothes. They are selling a soybean of all type. Everything is entering your eyes. All the clothes in that shop, they have equal probability of being selected by you. That is probability sampling. Understand? Why, on the other hand, the non-probability sampling should be the opposite of probability sampling. This is a method in which not N-O-T, that is negation. Understand? You are negating the first one, not N-O-T. You are negating it, so negative. Understand? Negative. So this is a method in which not all member of the population has a known or equal chance of being selected. You understand? The first one, probability, that is, they have equal chance. The non-probability, they have not equal, they don't have equal chance. You understand now? So this type of research, this type of sampling is used in qualitative research. Is used in qualitative research.
Does that mean the probability is now used in quantitative?
Yeah, I've mentioned that one. I mentioned that they use in quantitative.
Okay.
Now, based on the question, the person that asked question, that type of sampling that brought us to this question, this topic. So when we talk about the type of sampling, we've talked categories of sampling: probability, non-probability. Now, under probability sampling, we have some types, which is bringing us to the types of probability sampling.
Types of probability sampling.
Types
Yeah.
of
Florence, you
probability
want to say
sampling.
something?
Please, sorry, can you come again? I'm
I should come
confused.
again. I should come to where?
I mean, please, can you repeat yourself? I'm lost.
I should repeat myself. On which part? On which part?
The non-probability sampling. After you told us what it meant, then you said something and I didn't get that.
I said something. I'm a talkative. I said many things. I don't forget what I said.
I
Okay,
think it's where you mentioned
Hello.
that it is
Qualitative.
qualitative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I said the non-probability is used in qualitative research, while the probability sampling is used in quantitative research.
Hello.
Ah, yeah.
Okay, please, it's Muminat. You gave us example for probability sampling, but you didn't give us example for non-probability sampling. Can you please give us example so that we can form other examples on our own? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So we said the non-probability sampling is the type of probability where you don't have whereby the numbers in the population doesn't have equal chances of being selected, right? Okay, you're not asking an example now. Imagine that you're a researcher and you want to study the levels of at which student uses library in the school. You know, as directly in your brain, you know that for you to know the levels of people who's using the library, you have to be in the library, right? But when you enter the library, out of 10,000 students in the university, you met only 50 students in the library. Which means that there are probability that even those people using the library the most, that they might not be in the library the time you want to do your sampling. Understand? You might not. It's like you enter the library, you met 50 people out of 10,000 students in the school. You understand? So that means they don't have equal chances of being selected in this type. The 10,000 students in the school, they don't have equal chance of being selected in these cases. You only deal with those people you can see in the library at this time, not the whole population of people in the school. So if I come to the types of probability sampling, you will be able to understand which one I'm referring to. It's like going to a mall. You want to study the level at which people patronize a supermarket, and you go there on a Sunday morning. You know, people will go to church, or you go there on a Friday afternoon, 1 p.m. People go to Gmat. If you want to base your research on this, there are probability that you might not meet the right people you want. Understand? So, but by the type of research, by the type of non-probability sampling, you will be able to understand them, which one, because type of non-probability sampling, we have four. Type of probability sampling, we have four. Understand that? So you'll be able to understand. So let us go there before you understand. Now, type of probability sampling. Number one type of probability sampling. Simple random sampling. Simple random sampling. That is number one type of probability sampling. Number one type of probability, simple random sampling. So this is the type of sampling that gives every member of the population an equal opportunity of being selected. Understand? This is a type of sampling or probability that give every member of the population an equal opportunity of being selected. Example, if a researcher, for instance, wants to study the academic performance of Ahmadu Bello University graduate students, understand? They may compile a list of all the postgraduate students or all the Ahmadu Bello University students, understand? And randomly select maybe 300 students. You know, for us now that are doing MIAD, we are like 400. So let's say you want to study research on academic performance of students doing masters in international affairs and diplomacy. So instead of a researcher to study all the students, the researcher can base on 5 or 50 students or 60 students. Understand now? Using a random number generator. That is, you randomly choose people. You understand? You put a population here and you randomly choose. That is the known population, the known probability sampling. Understand? That is, you randomly pick out of a population. That is non-simple random. That's why they put some simple in front of his name. There's a simple random. Simply, out of 300, you just randomly choose. Okay, you come. Chicken. That is simple random sampling. But after that, we have the systematic sampling. Systematic sampling. In this systematic sampling, this involves selecting every cat. I don't know how to say this word, but it's called, to me, it's called cat. That's, when you write first position, second position, third position, when you get to 10th, T now 10, you put TH, right? When you get to 20, you put 20, you put TH, right? So we are not saying that every cat, that's KTH. KTH, like 10th, 20th, 30th, 50th. Yes, and no. So this involves
like counting in 10.
Yeah, counting in 10th. Understand? Mm-hmm. So counting in 10th. So this involves selecting every KTH element from a population after choosing a random starting point. Which means that if I want to do a research on students doing MIAD, 400 students, but let me change it. Let's take it like we are 1,000 students. And I choose 300 out of 1,000 to do research randomly. I close my eyes. I just choose 300. But out of that 300, I want to now I put at least them 1 to 300. But now I want to do a systematic sampling on them, which is that I will choose number 10th, number 20th, 30th, 40th, 50th, 6th. You understand? Every 10th you'll be choosing till you will be done with your sampling. You understand? I don't know whether you understand the difference between this one and the first one. We are here to learn. If you don't understand, let me repeat.
Sorry, please repeat the systematic sampling again. I don't.
Please repeat the systematic sampling.
If you don't understand, say it. You understand? Now, the systematic sampling, this involves selecting every Kent. When I say Kent here, just say KTH, yeah, KTH. Understand now? I call it Kent. Understand? KTH. I don't know what you will call it, but I personally call it Kent. KTH. From a population after choosing a random sampling. Understand? After choosing a random sampling or after choosing a random starting point. Which means that when you are done with your simple random sampling, you still have another work to do. But this time around, the work you will do is to focus on number 10th, 20th, 30th, 50th, 60th. Understand? You have your goal. Maybe you want to say, okay, you want to do every 20 or every 10th or every 30th. For instance, now you can decide as a researcher, okay, you as a researcher, you can decide that every number 10, every 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. That's what you do, or every 20, 20, 20, or every 30, 30, 30, depending on how large your population is. So in this time around, it's not about only 10th. So researcher can say they can do 20th, 20th, number 20th, number 40th, number 60th, 80, and the likes. Understand? So that is from your simple random sampling. You do your systematic sampling. Did you get it now? The person asked me to repeat it. I don't know whether the person.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yes, I get it.
The third type of probability sampling, it is called the stratified sampling. The stratified sampling. Do you have 2 students doing MIAD in your house, Florence?
Oh, I'm so sorry, sir.
Are you two doing MIAD there?
It's just one. I'm sorry, sir.
No problem. Stratified sampling.
Sorry, I didn't get it. Can you spell?
Okay, that is S for Sierra, T for Tango, R for Romeo, A for Alpha, T for Tango, I for India, F for Foxtrot, I for India, E for Echo, D for Delta. Do you get it?
Sorry, please, can you take it again? You're quite fast.
Stratified, right?
Let me write it in the comment section.
Is it stratified, you said?
Yeah, stratified.
Okay.
I put it in the comment section. Yeah, Fatima also put it in the comment section. You can check the comment section. Yeah, Olashade also put it in the comment section. So stratified sampling. That is the third type of sampling. Listen. So in stratified sampling, the population is divided into subgroups. You know, I've told you what is population in research already. You now divide the population into subgroup. That subgroup is called strata. S-T-R-A-T-A. Strata. That subgroup is called strata. Understand? So you divide the population into subgroup, which is known as strata, based on shared characteristics. Based on shared characteristics. That means if you want to divide the population, you divide them based on their characteristics. And random sample drawn from each stratum. And random sample are drawn from each stratum. Let me give you an example now. When we're in school, primary school or secondary school, and there is like a competition, they want to do inter-house sport. Listen, you know, we have blue house, green house, yellow house, red house. You know that blue house, yellow house, green house, you know, they divide the whole school into 4 houses. You understand? Now, after dividing the whole school into 4 houses, each house, they will now pick some people in each house to represent each house. Right? You can, maybe people in the group, maybe the school, in total, there are 600 in secondary school. In total, there are 600. They will not divide 600 by 4. They will say blue house, green house, yellow house, red house. But out of this group now, they will now choose maybe 10 people from green house, 10 from yellow, 10 from blue, 10 from red to represent each of these house. You understand? So that means that they divide the population into subgroup. That subgroup are the houses. The blue, yellow, green, red. Understand? After dividing into subgroup, what they do, that subgroup, they divide it. The yellow house, the blue house, the green house. It's called strata in research. You understand? Now, out of these people now, they now do random sample. they do random sample are drawn from each houses, each department they don't divide us to. Understand now? So strata, that subgroup, the houses are strata. Understand? And they pick from that strata some people. Those people they pick are called stratum. STRAUM. Understand? They are called stratum. Am I communicating?
Yes, sir.
I don't know. Maybe teaching is my line.
But we're getting deeper. We're going too deep.
Maybe God wants me to be teaching, but I'm enjoying teaching. Now,
not teaching, sir, lecturing.
What? No, lecturing. What?
Lecturing.
I don't want. That's it. God wants
No,
me.
you should be a lecturer, Mr. Akanji.
I don't want. That's the problem. I don't want to
What
go there.
if it's God calling for your life?
But God,
because you are good in it. So I call
Very
it a blessing for
good.
you.
I don't run away from it. I don't run away from it. I don't want to go there again. I did it for 7 years, so I don't want to go there again. Now, let's go to the fourth one, the fourth type of probability sampling. The fourth type of probability sampling, that one is called the cluster sampling. The cluster sampling. Cluster sampling. That is CLUSTER. C for Charlie, L for Lima, U for Uniform, S for Sierra, T for Tango, E for Echo, and R for Romeo. Cluster sampling. In this cluster sampling now, this involves dividing the population into clusters. Dividing the population into clusters. Understand? Now, when you say cluster, I want you to put it in bracket down. Often geographically or institutionally. Often geographically or institutionally. And randomly selecting from the entire cluster. And randomly selecting from the entire cluster. You divide the population into cluster based on geography or institution. Geography is where they are living, or where they are working, or where they are doing something, or a location, in short, a location, or an institution. You know, in Stratum, in Stratified, we say based on shared characteristics. Now, here we are saying based on cluster, either geography or institution. And then when you are done with dividing them, you will now do random selection from the entire cluster. Understand? Let me give you an example now. Let's say all the students doing MIAD, we are grouped into cluster. Understand now? People, let's say all the people doing, okay, yeah, let's say we are grouped into cluster. We have some people in Abuja. We have some people in the UK, like me. We have some people in Gabon. We have some people in Saudi doing MIAD. We have some people in Lagos. Understand? We don't divide ourselves. Understand now? Now, after dividing ourselves, they will now randomly select maybe five people from each location. Understand? 5 people from UK, 5 people from Lagos, 5 people from Abuja, 5 people from Kaduna, 5 from Borno, 5 from Bauchi, 5 from Saudi. That is cluster sampling. They do their selection based on the geographical location of people or their population or institution. For instance, now they can do it on Ahmadu Bello University distance learning students. You know, we have a MIAD, we have public admin, we have medicine, nursing, we have other courses. I don't know. We have other courses. You can divide the whole Ahmadu Bello distance learning student by department. Student in MIAD, student in pub admin, student in pole science, student in nursing, and you will now pick from your division. Those people you divide now, you now pick from them. You now pick from them. Am I communicating?
Yes, sir, but it's a bit confusing because it's not similar with the stratified sampling.
The stratified sampling, you do your selection based on some characteristics that your strata shared.
Okay.
Understand? Based on some characteristics they shared. But in cluster sampling, you have two options only, either on geography or institutions. You understand? Either on geography or institution. For instance, on strata, on the stratified sampling now, you can say boys and girls. You can divide your population to boys and girls. And you now select again from the boys, you select some people. From the girls, you select some people. You understand?
Yeah.
That means they share characteristics. Those people you call boys, they share one characteristics. Those people you call girls, they share one characteristics. Do you get me? That's from the stratified. That is, you select it, you do your division into strata. That strata is based on some shared characteristics. After that one, you will now do a random sampling from it. So from each one. Do you get it?
Yes.
Can I proceed?
Yes.
Now, we are done with type of probability sampling. Where we came from, we talk about sampling. Will that tell us the meaning of sampling or sample and the meaning of population? We talk about type categories of sampling, where we say there are two. We have the probability
and non-probability.
But the probability, there are four. And what are they?
Simple random sampling, systematic sampling, stratified sampling, and cluster sampling.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Now, types of non-probability sampling.
It's longer.
Type of non-probability sampling. Types of non-probability sampling. You know, we've not answered the question 5B. We just answered the definition of sampling because somebody brought up this. That's why we want us to understand that type of non-probability sampling. Number one.
So let me ask a quick question. In answering, let's say, for example, this question comes up again in exams. In answering it, can we still tell them about the types of sampling in the process?
As a question, the time will not be by your side. You get?
Yeah. So
you can broadly talk about the categories, not the types. Okay. After explaining the type of sampling, you can broadly say that the sampling is also categorized into two. We have the non-probability and the probability. You understand? So, and just briefly, you understand? They are not asking you to list the types of non-probability and
probability and probability.
Okay, sir. Mr. Akanji?
Yes, I'm here. Akanji?
Mr. Akanji, I'm sorry to bother you.
No, you're not bothering me. We are here to learn.
Okay, in one of the past questions, I saw something that was different and rare. It says the 5-point Likert scale for respondents. Have you seen that question before? It said 5-point Likert scale for respondent opinion about... Have you seen it before?
I know the question. Yeah.
Please, can you talk to us about it?
Maybe is in module 2.
Anyway.
But don't worry. Let us finish this sampling, and then if there is time, we'll talk about it.
Okay, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Just note it somewhere so that in case I forget, you bring me there. Now, types of the non-probability sampling now. Types of the non-probability sampling. Number one, convenience sampling. Convenience sampling. Convenience sampling. This is the type of sampling where participants are selected based on availability and easy access. The type of sampling based on availability and easy access. Somebody put it on the comment section. Thank you very much for Lashade. She put it on the comment section. Convenient sampling. So, in this type of sampling, participants are being selected based on availability and easy access. That means that if you are available, you will be selected. If you are not available, you will not be selected. You understand now?
Hi, sir. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, I noticed that in the initial probability sampling we're using population, but now you are saying
It's still population. It's still population.
Participants. Okay, that's fine.
So population. You can put the population. Yeah, the population are being selected based on now. So the reason I use participants here is because after you choose from your population. Now, when you choose from your population, those people you choose from your population, they are your sample, right? They are people you want to do your research on. They are like participants. They are like your participants. That is those people that want to participate in your research questionnaire or survey. Understand? 22 people here. Now, convenience sampling. I've given you the meaning of convenience sampling. Let me give you an example now. In this course, anything you give, anything you explain, just give an example for you to scale through. You need to give an example for you to scale. If you don't give an example, I'm afraid that you'll be losing some marks. So just give an example. Now, let's imagine, I've given this example, I will repeat it again. Now, imagine that you are a researcher. You want to study library usage. Understand? Library usage. I've given an example of library usage. So, of postgraduate student of Ahmadu Bello University distance learning. Understand now? Do you know that we have library as we are doing distance learning? We have a library. But some people don't use it. You get?
That's e-library.
Yeah, we have it. We have e-library. But some people don't use it. I can say like 70% don't use it. You get? Now let's not assume that you want to do research on the library usage, how people use the library. Let's leave distance learning. Let's focus on those physical institutions, physical university. Understand? So we have one library in Ahmadu Bello University, Kashim Ibrahim Library. So let's say you want to study the library usage of postgraduate students in Kashim Ibrahim Library at Ahmadu Bello University. You will do your sampling based on people you see that are present in the library. And so now, people you can access directly, people your eyes can see directly. If it's only 20 you can see, that is, you base your research on this 20. Maybe you come another day again to come and check, but that day you come, the first day you come, the people you can see directly, you base your sampling on them. You understand? That is, participants are being selected based on availability or easy access. Understand? What's the meaning of Kachiko, please? I dey hear it. They say, I don't know the meaning. Kachiko.
Kajiko, have you heard?
Okay, Kajiko. Okay, no problem. Now, number
Because
2.
in this situation, you refer to us as Kunjuko since we are more than one. Kunjuko.
Okay. I dey hear you, but I don't know the meaning. Now, number 2 now. Purposive sampling or judgmental sampling. Fatima Lassan say we dey. Okay. She mentioned. So, purposive sampling or judgmental sampling. Purposive sampling or judgmental sampling. In this kind of sampling, participants are being selected deliberately because they possess specific relevant characteristics to the study. Or you say participants are selected deliberately because they possess specific characteristics relevant to the study. For us in the comment section, it is either purposive or judgmental. So you say purposive or judgmental sampling.
Please read it again. You said they possess because they possess
Participants, those people that will participate in the research, the participants are deliberately selected because they possess specific characteristics relevant to the study. Let me give you an example now. Let's say we want to study, let's say international student at Ahmadu Bello University distance learning. You know, we that are not in Nigeria, we are directly international students, right? So we are they deliberately select us because we are considered as international students. Money where they pay is different from those that are in Nigeria, the money they pay. You understand? So they deliberately select us to understand how we are coping with this distance learning. You understand now? So we are not selecting the whole Ahmadu Bello University distance learning students. We are only selecting people that are not in Nigeria. So with me, people that are not in Nigeria, consider them as international students. So they deliberately select those living outside Nigeria to study how they are coping with this distance learning. You know, you living in Nigeria, at any time you can call them directly. But we in outside Nigeria, it's going to be difficult for us to contact them. Listen, or we are having some challenges here. We do work. What is the time? Here we are busy with work. People work like clock here. Seriously, I'm even tired. People work like clock here. You understand that? So how are we coping with distance learning? This is something that can be studied also. You understand that? So participants are deliberately selected because they possess specific characteristics that is relevant to the study. Even if you possess a kind of characteristics, if you are not relevant to that particular study, they will not select you. You understand that? So those that are directly relevant to the particular study, they can select them. I want to give who can give
Hello,
I want to give an
Abdul.
Yeah.
Abdul. Okay, sorry. I wanted to ask. I might be wrong. So, it says that this kind of sampling, participants are being selected deliberately because they possess specific characteristic relevant to the study. I wanted to add, for instance, if we are going to be, since this is research, if we are going to be like conducting a study in an LGA, for example, and then it's focused on how maybe persons with disability access toilets in that LGA. Since it's relevant to that study, because it's relevant to the study, we want to get like feedback on how persons with disability access toilets in that location. Can we use this particular example and say, okay, this study is for persons with disability, so we are selecting persons with disability? Okay.
Thank you very much. So now these are examples relevant to this. We are learning. So just try to, as I'm giving you this definition or this explanation, try to think of your own example also. Not necessarily basing it on my own example. Thank you very much for this contribution. Yes, and so this is study. We as I say my own, just give your own point. Other people will be learning from it. So thank you very much. So let's say you are studying people with disability, how they are able to access toilets, how they bath, how they toilet. Yes or now? Or you can study people with disability in IDP camp in Bauchi, for instance, now. You know, there are people living in the IDP, there are many people living in the area, but you just based on people with disability only in that camp, not all the people living in the camp. So now. So that's it. Thank you very much for the contribution. Now the third type of non-probability sampling, we call it the snowball sampling. Snow. We don't have snow in Nigeria, right? Let me spell it. It's S for Sierra, N for November, O for Oscar, W for whiskey. S-N-O. Thank you very much. Falash, they put it in the comment section. Snowball sampling. You can check the comment, you will see it there. Snowball sampling. In snowball sampling, existing participants help the researcher to identify or recruit other participants with similar characteristics. Existing participants help to identify or recruit other participants with similar characteristics. Now, let's say you don't go library, you want to do research on people where they use library. No, let's take an example now that is similar to us. As we are doing online study, some among us work, some they are looking for work. You understand? Now, let's say you want to study student doing distance learning at Ahmadu Bello University who combine full-time work and study. Understand? Now, they now choose maybe 10 people that they know that they work and they do distance learning. Those 10, they will point out to those another people that they know that are working. You understand? So, which means in this sense, you just need to pick some kind of people, and these people will look for another people for you. You understand now? So, me getting like, let's say I need like 500 people now for the research, and I just have like 10 people. I will ask these 10 people to please tell me whether they know, whether their friend or their colleagues or their neighbor has exactly characteristics that I am looking for. If they confirm, I'll ask for the number and contact them, or I'll ask them to take me to them. Do you get? So, is the participant, the first participant we get will lead us to the second participant, the second will lead us to the third, and the third will lead us to the fourth. That is how, till you get the required numbers of people you need for your research. Do you get this?
Yes.
Okay.
To be honest, I did not get it. Sorry.
Thank you very much. I did not get it. That's what I want. I did not get it. Thank you. Now, snowball sampling. You can check the comment section. Flashari put it there. Snowball sampling. It is where you know, we say sampling is when you choose for a population, right? Now, in this kind of sampling now, you know say it's called snowball, which means I want to use snow to do example, but I don't know whether you understand. You know, snow, when you take I don't know whether you understand, but let me try. Snow is when you take small snow, you want to make it big. You roll it down. As more ice is being on top of it, it is going to be big. I don't know whether you understand this thing. Let me use which one you understand. Now, I want to take an example. Let's take an example now. Let's say you want to study people living with disability, or let's say you want to study about Almanjiri in Bauchi, for instance. Somebody says use Pandem Yam. Now let's use Pandem Yam. You say Yam, Pandem Yam. When you have small yam, you want to make it big. What do? You have to take another yam, add it to it, right?
Yes.
That another yam you adding to it is meaning that the first yam you have in your hand is recruiting another one to join him so that it can be big. You understand? The same thing is sampling in snowball sampling. one yam you have is a one participant. Is going to call on another yam or another pandem yam to come and join before it can be big. The same thing applicable. Let's say you want to study Almanjiri people in Bauchi. You will now go to the city center in Bauchi. You choose, you saw two Almanjiri. Understand? You saw two Almanjiri. You ask them, do you know another person that is doing Almanjiri, another Almanjiri?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure they will say yes.
An example is if you want to share food for them, once you get to those two, we bring 50 for you.
The two will show you where you can see 100. You understand?
Okay, is it like, for instance, this snowball sampling, is it like networking?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Understand? When you get one, the one will lead you to one, another one will lead you to another one will lead you till you get your number of people. So let's say you want to share food with those Almanjiri now. You just see two. I'm pretty sure these two can lead you to 200 people. Thank you. If someone say more like referrer, you refer. Understand now? You refer the researcher to another person. That another person will now refer the researcher to another person till the researcher will get his whole numbers. Do you get it now?
Yes.
Thank you very much. The last one is quota. Quota sampling. Quota. Q for Quebec, U for uniform, T for tango, O for Oscar, T for tango, A for alpha. Quota sampling.
Please, can you spell it out?
Q for Quebec, U for uniform, O for Oscar, T for tango, A for alpha. Quota. You can check the comment section. Fola Shade is doing a good job for us. She's writing it there. Quota sampling. In quota sampling, here the researcher decides to identify, let's say, here the researcher on his own, the researcher select participants based on predetermined quota. Based on predetermined quota. You know, in MIAD 809, we say when the government want to do perfectionism, sometimes they put quota on numbers of goods that can enter a country. The same thing in the research. The researcher can put a quota on the numbers of people he needs for his research. Understand now? Now, they not say that quota sampling, the researcher select participants based on predetermined quota, but selection with each quota is non-random. Selection with each quota is non-random. You already have a quota of people. You have as a researcher, you already have a quota of people you want to base your research on, right? Now, but that quota of people you want to base your research on, you then do your selection. You do your selection on a non-random mode. Now, let me give you an example now. A researcher can decide to interview 100 Ahmadu Bello University students, right? Yes, he wants to interview 100 Ahmadu Bello University students. But at the same time, you ensuring equal numbers of male and female. But your selection is going to be based on availability. So which means that if I want to study all Ahmadu Bello University students, I go to the campus, I just pick 100 students. But those 100 students I want to pick, I have to make sure that it's based on people that are available. Understand now? So you have to ensure that numbers of male and female are equal, but based on people that are available. Sometimes if the males that are available are more than the females, you just you just select them based on the people you need. So in quota sampling, that means that the researcher on his own has the quota of people he wants. Understand? Sometimes the quota of male can be more than female. Sometimes the quota of female can be more than male, but he has a quota. Maybe he needs only 50 people, or he needs 30 people, or 40 people. He based his own. It's like you want to go and share food to Almanjiri, and then you take away food like 50 from your house. You know that is a predetermined quota already. That means you already determine the quota of people you want to feed. You are not feeding more than 50 people. So when you get to the market, you look for only 50. You get based on availability of people you see there. So in this kind of research, the researcher has already determined the numbers of people they want. You don't want more than that quota. So, but he's going to work on those that are available. Maybe the females are more than the male among them. The male are more than the female. He doesn't care, but he has a quota. So that is about the number 4 types of non probability sampling. Now, let's go to that question now. No, this is just deviating. We were just deviating. That was not the question they asked in that past question. The question they asked in that past question is categories of constructing a research tools. Categories of constructing a research tools. That was the question. Should I share the question again? Let me share the question again. Let me share the question. I'm not seeing the question. It's on my WhatsApp. Okay, good. It's on my WhatsApp. Good. Can you see my screen now?
No. Yes.
Thank you. Oh. The question is number 5B. It's 5A that brought us to where we were discussing about research. Look at 5B now. The 5B said, explain the guideline for constructing a research tools. So now, guideline for constructing a research tools. I will come there. I want us to look at some other question. Look at this question. Which one talks about research, sampling, research tools, or probability or non-probability? Look it here.
Number 6.
What is sampling? How can a researcher determine an appropriate sample for a particular study?
You see this question, 6B and the 5A here, they are meaning the same thing. Same thing.
The same thing. They just now the way they twist them.
They twist it. So now look at here now, this past question.
Number 1, discuss the 2 major categories of sampling. What are 2
major categories of sampling?
Probability and non-probability.
Thank you very much. When you discuss them, you talk about the types here.
Types.
They say false. You talk about the types. After telling us the definition, you talk about the types. That is what the
cite examples.
You understand? So look at here.
Number 6. You passed number 6. It talks about research too.
Which is number 6? Okay, look at number 6.
Discuss 4 steps.
4 steps for constructing research tools.
This 4 step for constructing research tools is still the same thing as the one they asked in this number 6
and that number 5.
You see the same thing. You get? So we'll come there. What about here? What about here? Can I proceed?
Yes, it's like there's nothing on sampling
here.
Okay. What about here?
With relevant examples, number 6.
Okay.
With relevant examples, demonstrate the most appropriate sampling technique to be used in selecting a representative sample from a population for which there is no sampling frame. Here.
That's a non-probability. there's non-probability sampling, but you just have to know how to explain it extensively to them. What about here?
Number 4. Compare and
The person that asked
contrast.
question, somebody has the question of that number 6. We develop an example of a 5-point Likert scale on the opinion of a respondent about their job. So if we have time, we'll talk about it. Now, somebody say number 4. What's number 4?
Compare and contrast the differences between probability and non-probability sampling.
Thank you very much.
You have to talk about it and differentiate them and tell us what is the difference.
What about here?
With relevant examples, demonstrate how a sample can be selected using a stratified sampling technique. Hey,
Okay.
this one is, you're going to...
What about the last one here?
None.
Hmm? None, right?
Yes, none.
So most of this question in the past question, we've treated it is in one of the video I put on my YouTube. So you can watch it if you have the time this night or tomorrow. With this exam, we have it in the afternoon, right? So you still have all the time. Listen, if you have all the time, it might be the last thing you will read that will stay in your brain. That's the word that will come in the exam. So don't waste your time. Don't jeopardize your chances. Now, categories for constructing a research tools or steps of constructing a research tools. We have 4, right? We have 4 steps or categories of constructing a research tool. But before that, let us understand what is research tools on its own. Understand now? As a doctor will have their tools, right? A carpenter has his own tools, like hammer, like saw, like blade, and the likes. Understand? Like a farmer also has his own tool when he's going to farming. Like the same thing is applicable to a researcher. So when a doctor, a farmer, a carpenter has a tool, they can call them the instrument of work. So in research, when a researcher has a research tool, that is, we can call it an instrument of a researcher to perform its research. You understand now? So a research tool is an instrument of a researcher in performing a research. Now, it's a device used for data collection. So a research tool is a device used for data collection, such as questionnaires, interview guides, observation checklist, or test.
Please read it out again.
A research tool is a device used for data collection by the researcher, such as questionnaires, interview guides.
Used by a researcher.
Are you reading it or you are reading it to someone?
I'm reading it to myself, but used by a researcher.
Mm-hmm. It's a device used for data collection by a researcher. Listen,
Okay.
for data collection. We know when a carpenter uses his hammer, that hammer is a device used by a carpenter to hammer wood. Understand? So in the research tool is a device used for data collection. Understand? Data collection by the researcher. So it can be questionnaire, interview guides, observation checklist, or test.
Okay. Hi, Ahmed. Sorry, hi, Abdul.
Yeah, hi.
Okay. You said a research tool is an instrument a researcher is in performing a research. So for instance, What of the
Repeat
like
that.
the specific tools?
Repeat the definition.
Okay.
Repeat the definition.
Is an instrument a researcher used in performing a research? Is that what you said?
Is an instrument used for data collection.
Okay, instrument.
Used for data collection by
Data.
researchers such as checklists, questionnaires. You know, a researcher has to collect data because based on the data he has, he will be able to do
I'm
one
so
of
sorry. I didn't get the last part. I'm very sorry. The
interview
interview guides, observation checklist, and something.
questionnaire,
Okay, I have questionnaires already. Okay.
or test.
Test. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Well,
Abdul, can we categorize the like tools? For instance, some organizations I know use like Google Forms, while some persons use Kobo Collect
good,
and
good.
M-Water. Are there tools?
That is research tool.
Okay.
That is research tools. Good. Thank you very much for this example. Now, the questioner is asking us categories for constructing a research tools. So, steps for constructing. Which step are you going to pass through to construct a research tool? It is 9 p.m. We say we will stop by 9 p.m.
9.
Should we stop now?
Please, let's finish the instruments, please.
Okay. Number one step for constructing a research tools. Before you construct your questionnaire, before you construct your survey, your interview, your observation checklist, or your test, before you construct that one, what must you do? Number one, define the research objectives and variables. Define the research objectives and variables. Define the research objectives and variables. The first step of constructing a research, thank you very much for putting in the comment section. The first step for constructing a research tools is to clearly define the research objective and variable to be measured. The research objective, research questions, and variable to measure. When you know your objective as a researcher, or you know your research questions, the question you want to ask, the question you want to do your research on, it's going to be easier to know which method you will put in place to get your data. You understand now? As a doctor, for instance, now, doctor will not do questionnaire like this without knowing the objectives of what they want to do. You understand now? Most time, doctor will prefer to do test instead of doing questionnaire. On a rare occasion, you will see doctors doing questionnaires. Unless doctor can do checklist. When you go to hospital, they will ask you, are you feeling headache? They mark, okay, headache. Your urine, is it yellowish? They mark. Okay, if it's not yellowish, they mark. So these are checklists for them to come to a conclusion. Once they have this data, they will come to a conclusion. But they now say that they said before you do all these checklists, number one is defining the research objective and variable. Understand? The objective of that doctor is to know the cause of your ailment, like your sickness. It is saddening today that when you go to Nigeria hospital, they have two major sickness in Nigerian hospital. When you go to a nurse or doctor, they have two major sickness, especially all these small doctors. They have two major sickness, which are malaria and typhoid in Nigeria. malaria, everything, malaria and typhoid, and they are killing people with malaria and typhoid. They give you antibiotics and people are dying with kidney failure. So please, can you say what the first step is? Okay. The first step is define research objective and variables. Somebody put it in the comment section. You can see it in comment section. Listen. So just check. Define research. You need to define your objective and your variables. And so when I say the first step is in consulting a research tool is defining research objective and variable, research objectives, research questions, and variable. The researcher must identify what information is needed and why it is needed. What information is needed and why it is needed. When you go to your doctor and the doctor is asking you a question, he is trying to fill a checklist. Understand? That checklist is trying to fill is to get information about what is wrong with you so that he is going to come into a conclusion about your particular sickness. He will not say that it is malaria and typhoid. Everything in Nigeria, malaria and typhoid. Malaria and typhoid. Now, let me give you an example now. If the objective of the researcher is to examine a factor affecting academic performance of Ahmadu Bello University distance learning students, you understand now? If it's to tell us that to examine factor affecting our academic performance, understand? Variables are going to be like our study habit. Some of us, we don't like to read, like me. While some people, they read book tired. Understand now? So study habit. Access to learning material is something you can study on. You can study on study habit. You can study on access to study material and lecturer support. Understand? Now, these are variable. Based on this thing, the researcher will have its objectives. Understand now? Define objectives and variables. Understand? That's number one. Number two. Let me drink water, please. Make a no collapse. Number two, choose appropriate type of research type tool. Number two, choose appropriate type of research tool. Choose appropriate types of research tools. Choose appropriate types of research tools. God. Choose appropriate types of research tools. Choose appropriate types of research tool. You can check in the comment section. Somebody put it there. Now, after defining your objective and knowing your variables, understand? The researcher needs to select the most suitable instrument, understand, for data collection. When the doctor finish doing knowing what is wrong with you, the next thing is going to choose the most suitable medicine to give you. Understand that? Going to choose the most suitable medicine to give you. Understand? So after you know your objective and your variable, the next thing is to choose the appropriate research tools. Understand? You choose the most suitable tools that will help you collect your data. This may be a questionnaire, an interview schedule, observation test or guide, or a test. Understand now? So you can choose, maybe you can choose to use in the questionnaire or interview or test, depending. Understand? Depending, just choose the best tool you know that can help you collect your data to do your research. For instance now, have you ever filled Google form before? Has anyone here filled any Google form?
Yes.
Yeah.
This Google form,
Yeah.
you know that is a form of research. It's a form of tools, research tools. You see, this Google form, they can send it to 500 people. And when the 500 people submit their answer, it's going to be very easy to determine the final result via Excel. Just put it in Python, Excel, you have your results. So that's why we have data analysts. The data analyst will take it to SQL or Python, or based on the information in it, they will have the required solution in less than 1 hour. They have in less than 1 hour. Once the 500 people fill the question, the Google form or the questionnaire, once they fill it in less than 1 hour, a good data analyst will be able to come to a conclusion about it. You understand that? So if I want to study like 10,000 Ahmadu Bello University students and they are ready to fill my questionnaire, I'll just send them online on their WhatsApp, make them fill it. Once they fill it, it's going to be easy. Shared a file in the meeting. Yeah. So you want to share to them. Once everybody fill it, you have it in your own database and you do your research on it. You understand now? So that's number two. Number three is that you should select. Understand now? You should choose the appropriate one you think you will use. Maybe you want to use questionnaire, you want to use survey, you want to use how do you call interview or anything you want to use, just choose. But then number three, they are not telling us that draft and structure the instrument item. Draft and structure the instrument item. Which means that you don't choose it already, but you've not used it. Right? You choose it already, but you've not used it. But they're not telling that number three, you should draft and structure them. Understand? That means that the third step is involve writing a clear and simple and unbiased question or item. If it's questionnaire you want to use as your conclusion, you should be able to write a simple, clear, and unbiased questions. Now, here the researcher must ensure that proper wording, like those people you want to give your questionnaire to, they can understand your wording simply. Understand? And also, it should be logical in sequence, and appropriate response must be given to it. For instance, now, I don't know anything about science, and they send me questionnaires that deal with science, chemistry. I don't know chemistry. They send me, I know something about biology, but not chemistry. They send me something about chemistry. That means, to me, the person, the sample, let's say to me the sample, the questionnaire in chemistry is going to be biased. It's not going to be clear. Understand? Because I don't understand the terms in chemistry. So for them to make me to understand, they have to make it, the writing should be clear, unbiased, and the wording should be proper enough for me to understand. Understand that? So that is the third thing. That means is a preliminary work of the research to make sure that the questionnaire you want to send out is clear, with proper wording, and unbiased. What number 4, which is the last step? Number 4 is pre-test. Pre-test. Number 4 is pre-test. And refine pre-test. Like, no, I'm going pre-test, validate, and refine the instrument. If you like, you can make it number 4, number 5, number 6. You understand now? But I just put it together because on our past question, they are talking about four categories of research tools. Yes, and that is why I'm just making it 4. But in your explanation, you will be able to explain very well. Pre-test, like PRE and test. Pre-test, validate, and refine the instrument. Pre-test means that you need to test it first. You understand now? Testing microphone. Hello. Which means that before you
Sorry, sir, Mr. Akanji.
Okay.
Yes, pre-test, validate, and what, sir?
Refine the instrument. Pre-test, validate, and refine the instrument. As an MC, before you use the microphone, you say hello. If the microphone is not good, you give it out. You take a new one that is good, right? That means you test, you validate, and you refine your instrument. As a researcher, after you've already draft and structure your instrument item, you will now test it. Thank you. You can check the comment section if you don't know. No, pre-test, validate. No, Folashade, in the comment section, pre-test, validate, and refine your instrument or the instrument. Do you get it, Folashade? Let me know if you get it. Pre-test, validate, and refine the instrument. So in this final stage, understand? Pre-testing is called pilot testing. Pilot in the quiz. But people that did case, you will see it there. Thank you very much. Pre-test, validate, and refine your instrument. Thank you very much. Now, pre-test is the first step, which is pilot testing. Pilot, like a aeroplane pilot. So pilot testing. So now that is you do a pilot testing. You put out your instrument out first to a small group of people. You understand now? Similar to your own target. Not your own target, but you put it to a small group of people that is similar to your own target. Understand now? So you now check the outcome of that sample, that pre-test you did. Understand now? So you try to see the outcome if the outcome is good. When the outcome is good, then you refine it and put it to your targeted population. Fatima Gashash, you can check it in the comment section. For Lashade, help us to put in the comment section. In case you don't get it, I think she's putting it. She's helping us to put it in the comment section. You can check it there. Pre-test, validate, and refine your instruments. This is the 4 categories of molding your research tools or having your research tools. Understand now? Categories of constructing or molding a research tools. This is all that is in, like module 3. Major thing in module 3. Pre-test, validate, and refine. So we are done with tonight. It's already 9:23 in Nigeria. I wanted to stop by 9 p.m. in Nigeria time. So we are done with this. So somebody for Fitmarka said, please, can we take number 3 again? Which number 3? Number 3, okay.
I'm sorry, you cannot go yet. She said that she remind you about something.
It is already 9:23. I'm tired.
I will stay.
I want to read. Oh, you will read with me.
I'm not to your level.
If you want to read with me, you will sleep by 4 a.m.
I'll go see that one.
Please, can you take that draft and structure the instrument again? I'm so sorry. I don't understand that part so much.
That's number 3, ba?
Yes, number 3.
Let anybody explain number 3 for us here. I want to learn from anybody to explain that number 3.
Can I try?
Yeah, you can try. We are learning.
Okay, so it says draft and structure instrument items with proper wording, logical and in sequence. So if you are going to be conducting, for instance, a focus group discussion, which is also a research, you are going to draft the two in a context-specific manner that fits into that particular focus group. You are not going to be using like any terminology. For instance, I'm going to still be using persons with disability. In the past years, they used to refer to them as persons living with disability, but the terminology has changed, that they are no longer living with disability, but they are now persons with disability. So you are going to structure the research in a way that it does not go against a person's, I don't know how to put it, that it does not look as if you are insulting that person. So you are structuring it in a context specific way. For instance, I'm going to, let me give a case study of Bauchi. In Bauchi, there are certain things that are not like a norm. There are certain words you cannot use. So if you go to a place, for instance, and you know, okay, this is Bauchi, women don't stretch forth their hands to shake men. You can only greet them. So you are going to tailor whatever you are doing to fit into the needs of those people that you are conducting the research for.
Proper wording should be put in place. If you know, say they know they use one word in that particular area you want to do your research, don't use that word. So proper wording. You as a research, after drafting and structure the instrument, your research instrument, you should just make sure that as a researcher, you must ensure proper wording, logical sequence, and appropriate response. You know, in research, you'll have option A. You want, especially people filling the questionnaire, they have option A, B, C, D. So there should be, out of these 4 options, there should be answer in out of each option. But if there's no option, if there's no answer here, sometimes they put order, OTHER, and they will now put space that in case your own answer is not among these things, no, put your own answer in wordings. You understand now? So as a researcher, you draft your instrument in a way that it's not going to be biased, it's going to be unbiased. Understand? You unbiased questions that will not be tackling with the brain of people. Understand? It should be clear. Your words should be cleared. Understand? Your writing should be clear, simple, and unbiased. I don't know whether you understand, though.
Thank you very much. I understand. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Joy, for this contribution. So let me stop the recording. I'm done with tonight class. Let me stop. I'll put it in